The following is a Live the Dream Media production.
Good morning, everyone. I'm adjusting to the new camera placement. You know, it's funny when you come in here and things have changed because the production team's doing different stuff. And, you know, I'm looking here now instead of over there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, hey, welcome to Local Marana. We just got to follow up after Chris, which is always
Smoking
fun.
again.
Yeah, AI and
Yeah.
Green Valley
Yeah.
and all kinds of stuff going on.
border.
The border.
Dan Shearer's always
Yeah.
and the Libertarian Party. They always deliver, don't they? Good people,
Yeah.
all of them.
He's Chris is killing it, man.
Yeah.
He's the viewership and listenership is growing every day. Shout out to everybody that's joined our various platforms that we have to listen to the show. And our app is being the easiest one for your car and your drive in the morning, and then of course YouTube and Facebook. And we got 288 new subscribers this month.
How cool is
On
that?
top of everything else that's
Yeah.
been happening,
Yeah.
so it's really cool. But you know, today we're talking about Marana stuff. Let's start with the weather. You hate this kind of
Rain it.
weather. Or you dislike?
I like 70s and above.
70s
so
and
yeah,
above.
there's that.
Okay.
But
It's raining a little bit. It's
we
supposed to get
needed-
really windy today.
yeah,
There's a
we
wind
needed the
advisory.
rain. We just don't need any rain Saturday.
Yeah.
We're going to
Why?
be doing the Marana Founders Day. I think 48. I think it's the 48th. Yeah, 1977. So 48, and we always look forward to that. It's a good time to hang out with our friends in Marana.
Yeah.
Because you know, David and I, any listener to the show knows this. We don't actually live in Marana. Our business is in Marana, so we spend a lot of time in Marana. But David lives in the county, not one of those little islands of stability. And I sleep north of Moore Road in Oral Valley.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we love Marana.
Grew up in Marana.
Grew
Went
up in
to
Marana, yeah.
The schools and, you know, played sports in high school and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But yeah. No, so the Founders Day Parade is this Saturday in Marana. That's a go-to event here in this area. You got to go. It's a great parade.
Get there early though,
Tons of
because
vendors, food.
It gets packed. They start closing down streets. It starts over there around the junior high and runs up Greer.
Yeah, yeah. If you just look for the municipal complex
Yeah.
in the Adahoney Municipal Complex,
yeah.
and you'll find what's going on. A lot of great stuff. There's entertainment. There's food. There's things for the kids. You know, I know they have a play area for the kids to hang out. So if you want to bring your kids, it's one of those events that you just got to go to in Marana. It's really fun. We enjoy going out there. We're going to be out there with our tent.
Broadcasting live.
We're going to be broadcasting live. Just
Thanks
a shout
to,
out to the folks that are going to help us make that happen this weekend. And yeah, we're going to have music playing. If you want to come by and check out what's going on, we might jump on video from there and broadcast. You never know.
Download the app, get a free cookie.
Yeah. Yeah, download the app and get a free cookie.
Yeah, how about
what a
that?
deal.
Copper Creek cookies.
What a deal. Also, the app does not take any of your information, so that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's free.
Yeah. So exciting day today. We have Xavier from Xavier Tattoos.
Yeah, he's waiting in the green room right now.
Yeah.
I think Demi's out there taking his picture, and
Yeah.
it's a mugshot type thing when you show up here. Just
You can't escape the
you
camera.
can't escape the cameras, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're looking forward to our newest neighbor in the Sun Creek Plaza. He'll probably tell you, but I think he's been here maybe a year now.
Yeah. And for those of you that don't know where the Sun Creek Plaza is, it's on Ina and Oldfather, and it's on the south end of Oldfather and Ina. There's a ton of businesses in here, you know, like there's all kinds of stuff going on.
There's
Of course,
like
you got
30
your Nico's on the front end, but if you go in, you've got us, Copper Creek Cookies, you've got a couple Skinology, yeah.
Joe's new barber shop back there.
Desi's Flower Shop's
Desi's
there.
Flower Shop. Anton Chisholm over at Innovate Signs with the good folks over there. You got a paint store. You got a couple of Jim, Tony at the Warden's Physique, I think it is.
You can spend the day here if you wanted.
Yeah, and two or three different photographers. It's you know, Marielle, our friend Marielle over at Skinology, who's part of the Marana Chamber of Commerce, pointed it out, and it was once she said it, I'm like, well, of course that's the way it is. This is like the small business epicenter of Marana. When you start really thinking about it, a whole bunch of small businesses in one spot. There really isn't. I can't think of another spot anywhere in the town of Marana that has as many small businesses as we do here. I think it varies. You know, we've been here the longest, next to Nico's.
Right.
I think there's roughly 30 businesses in this plaza.
Yeah, I would
It's a
say
hidden
for
gem.
sure.
People that live across the street here will say, "Hey, I've lived here 30 years, and I didn't know there was anything behind that front row there with Nico's." And there's a lot of stuff back here.
Somebody said something funny. They're like, "Yeah, every studio I've been to is always like hidden in this complex. Like it's not right away. Like you can't see it right away, you know." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's probably a good thing, though."
Yeah. We're no different than
the door
rest.
isn't open for you to just walk in.
We're not open to foot traffic. But again, Marana Founders Day this weekend.
Yeah, come see.
It's fun.
Come see us. Some of the podcasters are going to be there.
Yeah.
You know, I know Veronica's stopping by. We're going to be hanging out. Clint and I. Tammy, Demi, our social media girl. She's gonna be there, and we're gonna be having fun. And I know, I believe some of the chamber folks are gonna come stop by and say hi, and might jump on camera.
There's all kinds of vendors. There's food. There's T-shirts.
Don't miss it.
I don't know what all they in the past. I don't know. Are they having a car show?
I've seen a car show there every year.
Yeah.
I think it's Obsessions Car Club. I could be wrong, but yeah, no, they always have awesome cars there. And then the floats are cool, right? The parade itself is just it's historic. They posted a video.
Yeah.
Oh, you see all the cotton fields.
Cotton in the back. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember, man, I remember being a kid and how different it looked. It's growing so much.
Yeah.
You know,
you mentioned Ed Honey. This will be the first Founders Day that Ed Honey hasn't been there.
Yeah.
Because he was a institution in this community.
Right.
Greatly missed. I miss him every day, and I'm sure you do too.
I do.
I get photos popping up in my phone all the time. You know, us doing something. I had one this morning that the Fry's grand opening over here. Yeah. You weren't. You were doing a show. I forget what you were. You were here. Yeah. I know that you were doing a show, and that was in October. It's hard to believe it's been that long.
Right. Yeah. For sure. Well, let's get Xavier on here. We're at the 15-minute mark, so we're gonna go to break and bring on Xavier.
I'll hop out. I stick around though. As soon as David and Javier are done with Local Marana, I'll be back with my good friend Tara.
Okay.
Chandler.
Oh yeah, you got your show on today. Yeah,
she's a good friend of mine, and
on.
We're gonna get on here and just get to know each other a little bit better and share with the audience. So stick around. Hey, by the way, we appreciate you guys tuning in, joining, downloading the app.
Yeah. Right. All right. We'll see you in a bit.
Looking for the best outdoor patio in Tucson? Look no further than St. Philip's Plaza at the southeast corner of River and Campbell, where you can sip on Tucson's finest collection of whiskey at Union Public House, brunch 7 days a week at Reforma Modern Mexican Mezcal and Tequila, and experience our newest restaurant, Proof, proudly serving house-made pasta and artisanal pizza. Enjoy live music and dine under the stars with Union, Reforma, and Proof. Join us at St. Philip's Plaza.
Hi, this is Sean McCluskey, co-owner and designated broker for Rincon Ventures. If you're a rental owner by choice or by accident and you're looking to hire or change property management companies, consider Rincon Ventures. We employ an aggressive web-based advertising strategy to market your rental. We thoroughly screen prospective tenants and conduct routine property inspections. Our online system gives tenants the ability to pay rent and file maintenance requests instantly over the web. Our owners can use the same system to instantly check on their properties. Call Rincon Ventures at 881-2258 or visit us on the web at rvprop.com.
80% of those that have been incarcerated have been in foster care. So that's crazy to think that 8 out of every 10 inmates, male or female, have touched the foster care system. So if we can break the cycles that cause the foster care system to even be in existence, we're going to change society.
At GAP, I found love.
I found family.
It means hope. It was almost like I had a family away from my own family. At GAP, I found home.
All right, welcome back. Okay, so I want to make a correction. I was wrong on the pronunciation of this gentleman's name. It is Javier, so Clint was right. So let's give an applause for Clint on that one. Let's throw that out there. Yeah. So hey, I got a guest here today, Xavier. He's here in the complex with us. Does tattoos. Look at you got. Did you have somebody do these for you, or did you piece by piece yourself?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. The shops that I've worked at, I've gotten different pieces from different artists.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So what got you into this? How do you jump into? There's a lot of things that happen. First off, you got to be good at just art in general, which I'm not. So I'm gonna clarify that. But and you can bring the mic a little closer to you so the listeners can hear you. But yeah, how do you get into this?
Well, first off, I was into construction, like right out of high school, doing concrete and all that stuff. I'd always liked drawing as a kid. My older brother was an artist, so I picked up, things from him. And 2009, when the recession came, I got laid off and I couldn't find work. I couldn't find, work anywhere. So I had some friends who were tattooing. And I saw they were, making good money, having a lot of clientele. And I go, hey, I could probably do this because I used to draw with these guys in high school. So, yeah, I just picked it up. 2009, bought my tattoo kit, had a couple loyal friends let me practice on them,
Oh,
So-
man, nice.
So pretty much started off from there, and I've just been doing it ever since.
Yeah, so 2009, so you're what here?
15, 16 years in.
Wow. Wow. And is that your full-time thing, or do you do it on the
is
side?
now.
Yeah, it is now. That's cool. Congrats, man.
Thank you.
That's big. And so, for those that don't know, he's located here in the same complex as Live the Dream Media Studios. So you got a nice sign though.
Yep.
That's one thing we don't. Everybody's like, it's hard to find over here.
Yeah.
So, but we're getting ready to have the window wrapped.
Awesome.
I think I was talking to you about it, but we're gonna have like the whole window wrapped with logo stuff and information and how to download the app and everything. And yeah, it'd be cool. So, what's the most challenging thing about your industry? What do you see as the biggest challenge for tattoo artists and business owners in that mix?
That's a good question because nowadays, things are kind of changing. But from my experience, I would just say being accepted. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to find landowners that'll rent to tattoo shops. We got a bad reputation or whatnot. And that's where I had to come in and be like, look, I'm a family man. I have, 3 kids that I'm raising. It's not going to be like a crazy party tattoo shop. This is my business. This is how I feed my family. And I think when people see that, they go, okay, this is a real legitimate business. It's almost like therapy in a way. If you've never gotten a tattoo, let's just say that you're having a bad day, you're stressed out, you're just stressing about everything. If you come get a tattoo, that little tattoo pain kind of just takes away all your worries, and the only thing you care about is that tattoo pain for those couple hours, you know? And then after that, you kind of get addicted to that feeling. It's like a rush. It's like a nervousness, a rush, your adrenaline. It's a lot of fun, you know what I mean? And it's really addictive.
Yeah. I've heard that before, that it's therapeutic from some people I know that have, quite a bit, sleeves and different things. I got some work done. I've got some tattoos.
Awesome.
And same kind of story. I let someone kind of practice on me for one of them, which it came out okay. I'll take it. It is you get what you expect. You know what I mean? But
you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, man, this is cool. And then I got a bigger piece on my arm, and there was a point about where you're talking about like that therapeutic, like you're like, all right, man, I'm here. Exactly. And then not only that, there's something cool. It's like, it reminds me of, I don't have hair anymore, but when I did, that barber shop feel, right? Like when I went, like I still remember the guy's name, and the reason being is like, I was there for 3 or 4 hours, right? So you're with this person for a good amount of your day, and you're just talking, sharing stories about life and where'd you grow up, and you find all these different connections. So it has that barber shop feel, you know what I mean? Like where you're sharing stories and learning about each other. And then of course, once they do great work, you're like, well, it's just like a barber, right? Like you're going to go back and do what you can to get with that person again, to finish off whatever else you want. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, and that's another thing that people don't realize is, people who are just normal and used to their normal days, after you get a cool tattoo, you don't realize that every day you're starting to get complimented now by these people you've never met before. You're getting compliments, and it just makes your self-esteem go up a lot. I've noticed. So there's that. And like I was saying, it's just really therapeutic. When you're getting a tattoo, your endorphins kick in. So that's kind of what gives you that little natural high, that little natural relaxation feeling. And that's, I think, what makes it addicting is people are like, whoa, that's a cool feeling. I want to feel that again.
Do you feel that society has accepted tattoos more over the last decade plus?
Oh, definitely.
As opposed to when you started?
Oh, definitely. Sure. I remember when I first started, 2012 or so, when I was in a shop, we'd have these people come off the streets and, yeah, I want this, I want that, whatever. And this one day I had a trauma surgeon come in. And he was like, yeah, man, I want to get a couple tattoos, just to, some stuff that I like his favorite cartoon character and stuff like that. And that's when it really opened my eyes. Like, wow, trauma surgeons are doing this. I tattoo a lot of Marana Police Department officers. I tattoo Border Patrol officers, COs. I mean, everybody. It's a broad spectrum of everybody that I tattoo.
Those Marana peeps are my old peeps, man. I used to work there. Yeah.
Yeah, they're good people.
Yeah, and I noticed too, being in law enforcement when I was working, that when I started, you weren't allowed to show your artwork.
Yeah,
and
it was
then,
like from like the elbow up, but now I think you can have the full sleeve.
Yeah, I've seen some of that out there, so I was like, yeah, that's pretty new. Like I was around when that policy was like, yeah, we're good. You know what I mean? And then, yeah, it changed, and I felt like it's been a lot more accepted in society. Talking about therapeutic, I got to ask this. On the flip side of the pain, have you ever seen somebody where the pain was so wicked that maybe they pass out from doing the tattoo, or they throw up, or they need a break, or like they don't come back to finish the work? Like, has that ever happened?
Oh yeah, definitely. When you get a tattoo, you got to be prepared, mentally and physically. And what I mean by physically is, it's good to be hydrated. You got to have food in your stomach, and mentally, you just got to be prepared for it. You got to know you're going to go through some pain, but it's going to go away and you're going to be fine. Some people come in unprepared. They don't eat. They're stressing. They're too nervous. Like sometimes they'll want to pass out before I even start. They'll be like, hold on, man, I need some water. I'm getting dizzy. And I'm like, okay, man, just, calm down. You're going to be fine. You're in good hands. I always have like granola bars, candies, sodas, stuff like that, just to get their sugar up a little bit,
Yeah.
But it's always crazy. I've had a few people pass out, maybe like 2 or 3 times a year.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah, and that's always a weird experience. Like they're just like, they always start off saying, "Oh man, it's hot. I'm sweaty. Oh man, I need some water." And when they say that, I put my machine down and I just get ready to catch them.
So those are the signs.
Those are the signs. I'm like,
they're
okay,
sweating,
here they go.
They need water. Mm-hmm. What's funny is you bring up the sweat thing. I enjoyed it the whole time. And I noticed I was sweating a lot the whole time, not even like realizing it. But afterwards, I was like, man, my pants are kind of like wet from sweating. But yeah, that happens. You gotta be hydrated to go in there.
Exactly.
Like for me, that's how. Like if I go again, I'm drinking a Gatorade water mix for the next 2 days before I go in there.
Yeah, because you don't realize how much your body's actually working while you're getting a tattoo. You got the pain and your endorphins are kicking in, and that's taking your blood sugar out and everything. So you really got to be prepared.
Mm-hmm. What's the most painful areas you think for somebody to get tattooed? I know some people have different pain tolerances and stuff, and maybe the areas might be a little different. But like, what are the spots on a person that you would be like, hey, maybe you should take another couple steps before you come in? Maybe bring some ibuprofen or something or Tylenol because it's gonna hurt real bad. Like, are there some spots where you prep people a little different? Like, hey, this is gonna be historic for you, pain wise.
Definitely anywhere that has like bone right under, like say like your forehead. Some people like getting the tattoo right above their eyebrows, top of the hand, top of the foot. I got the top of my head tattooed a couple years ago, and that was the worst pain I've ever felt.
Was it loud?
It felt like a jackhammer in my head. It really did. That was the first tattoo that I actually kind of blacked out. Like, wow. I didn't pass out, but the pain was so intense, I forced myself to like relax, and I blacked out, and I swear I was watching myself from the ceiling getting tattooed on my head. Yeah, and then that was about 2-3 hours, and then when he was done, I stood up, and I felt like I had a concussion. I was like, oh man, my eyes hurt, and my head hurt, and I still had like 2 tattoo appointments after that, so I still had to work that day.
Well, how long did that last for? Where you were feeling kind of
The rest of the day.
beat up from it? Yeah.
The rest of the day for sure. It just, I was spent after, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. I had to keep working.
Yeah. Yeah. I always wondered about the head ones because you're just right on the skull. Like there's really nothing. There's nothing there. And I, just getting hit in the head with something, you're like, man. And then, I don't know, question for you on this is, like, anytime I've hit my head where I bled, like where it busted open or something, like it just bleeds like crazy. Was it, like, is there like a different blood flow when you're tattooing on the head and some of those other areas as opposed to like other?
That's a good question too, because some people, they have just normal reaction to where they bleed a little bit, not much. It's mainly plasma that comes out when you're tattooing. But then there's clients who have medical issues who are on medication, and they can bleed a lot more. Like I had a cousin who was on blood thinners, and I mean, he was just leaking on me one time, and I was like, okay, we need to take it easy with your tattoos, keep them small, not try to open up too much area at once. So yeah, definitely you gotta ask your clients, their medical condition and stuff like that before you start tattooing.
Yeah. See, there's like so much more that goes into it than people think. Yeah, I'm just gonna walk in off the street and just get my tattoo real quick. Like you got to consider a lot of other things. Now I'm gonna ask you a question, and I'm sure you've been asked this before, and you can say I'm not answering that if you want it. But what's the most awkward tattoo you've had to do? As far as, I'm not talking about beliefs or anything. I'm talking about like physical positioning of a person, or, just if I could paint the picture here, like the most awkward where you're like, man, this is one I can't wait to get done. Like you don't have to, if you don't want to, it's fine. But I mean, I was like, I'm going to go there and see.
Definitely. I'd have to say, feet tattoos. Like, sometimes people will come in with some raunchy feet, man, and it's just like I can't tattoo and gag at the same time, Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I'll even.
They do you like that? They come fresh out the gym, just ready.
Sometimes people don't understand that it's a medical procedure. You need to be clean, have sterilized skin, basically, and some people roll up out of bed and come in their pajamas and stuff, and I'm like, dude, you can't do that. Like, you need to be bathed. You need to be prepared for this procedure. It's serious, It can get really serious. And I'd say foot tattoos, or I wouldn't say like.
What about interesting? Because feet, I know feet. That's just here. Cover your steps, guys. If you're gonna get your feet done right, bathe. Maybe come in with some light air kind of shoes, right? Whether they're like sandals or some sliders, Just come in where they can breathe a little bit.
If not, make you go outside, I'm going to hose you down.
All right, and here's a couple more, guys. So the most interesting tattoo and the most famous person you've tattooed.
Okay, most interesting. I get those a lot.
I'm sure you get some art where you're like, what?
I'd have to say the most interesting, kind of weirdest tattoo I've done was probably a Ouija board on a girl's belly. We did the whole Ouija board, and then like the pancetta piece, the piece that you move around, that's like right below her belly, like right in the navel area. That was fun to do. She took the pain pretty good. Head tattoos are always interesting. Just having to position the person the right way, like you can't just have somebody come in and sit down and, oh yeah, let me tattoo your head. No, you got to have the massage table ready. You got to lay them upside down almost sometimes with their head hanging off the table. And that's the most important part is, you got to have them positioned right if you want to have clean tattoo work.
Yeah. So a Ouija board on a person, that is up there and interesting for sure.
Yeah, I had to go to church after that one.
She didn't make you like test it out, right? Like you didn't have to. Nobody did. Nobody was there to test out the Ouija board.
I don't play like that.
All right, most famous person.
Most famous, I can't say I tattooed too many famous people, just local celebrities, I guess.
That's fine. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, there's people here with influence, you know, coaches, all kinds of stuff, right? You got university here, you got some big companies here.
Yeah, not too many famous people that I can recall. I'd have to say mainly just like the police officers that I tattoo, you know. They're pretty popular around here. Everybody knows everybody. That's what I like about Marana, because I was on the east side of Tucson a couple years ago, and it's just too overpopulated out there nowadays. You know, it's like California traffic. Had to just come back to Marana where it's a little more country. You know, everybody knows everybody. People will help you out. Like out there on the east side, if you're broken down, nobody will stop for you. Out here, the first day I broke down, the person behind me stopped and asked if I needed help.
That's really cool.
That's when I was like, okay, I know I'm home again.
That's good. That's good. You living on this side of town too?
Yeah, definitely.
Nice. Likewise. It's a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So who can take the pain better?
Okay.
Girls, or let's say ladies or dudes, right? Because
definitely ladies. There's a small percentage of them that are babies, like anybody else, but for the most part, women take the pain better. I don't know if it has to do with childbirth or they're just built like that, you know, to endure pain. But for the most part, yeah, women like the pain. Like I said, it's therapeutic for them. Like a lot of my clients come on days that they're having a rough day, you know, whether they lost somebody that day or they're just going through something. They come and see me for that pain therapy. And they're always... You're
their therapist, man.
Man, seriously.
Yeah.
They always leave just so happy. And, you know, when I make my clients cry because they're so happy with the work, that's what really makes me go, man, you know, I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah, no, that's great. No, it gives a lot of purpose in that.
It really does. It really does.
I talk to people all the time about the therapy stuff, right? Everybody's got their opinions about therapy and different methods of therapy, and I'm like, how you help yourself. I mean, that's up to you. You know, unfortunately, there's some people that self-medicate on some stuff instead of trying to work through it. And like for me, my pain is the gym. And there's days where I'll wipe myself out, like almost throwing up, because that got me through that session, right? Like that's where you come together with yourself. Like, all right, you're gonna fail, or you're gonna pass, or you're gonna get through it, or you're not, right? Where are you at with your own mental state? Can you get through this workout? Can you get through this pain? And if you can, the accomplishment and the endorphins that come from it, right? Like you get to walk out of there like, hey, I did that, right? And same
walking
with your tattoo.
Out all wobbly, all sore.
Like leg day I did on Monday. But the same thing with a tattoo. I remember that moment when I got done, because when we were hitting that last hour, there was some times where I'm like, man, this is starting to suck a little bit, right? Like, and he gave me a Coca-Cola, and I'm like, it's kind of sucking a little bit. But then when you were done, you're like, okay, it's totally worth it. It was awesome.
Yeah, I'd say most people got about 3 to 4 hours of pain tolerance in them.
Yeah.
After that 4th hour, it's just torture.
Yeah, it's like something shut off, because I was good, right? And we were still conversing, but there was a point where I was like, I don't know if I ran out of sweat or if I just was like,
your endorphins
toast.
run out after 2 or 3 hours. That's when it's just like, they're like, okay, that's enough help. It's all on you now.
Yeah. So what's your goal going forward for your tattoo shop? What do you want to see happen? Who do you want to be involved with? Who do you want to be involved with you? What do you see?
Well, the plan is, you know, to have a bigger building to where I can hire some people. Right now, I got a small building because that was all that was available in the plaza. You know, so I had to get my foot in the door. Just waiting for a bigger building, and then I'm going to hire probably 2 more artists and a piercer, and, you know, just slowly expand from there. Just build and build and build. Hopefully open up a second location, maybe a third. You know, that's always been the plan.
What's your go-to for your tattoo equipment? What company, what brand? Or do you vary?
I get a lot of stuff from Needle Supply out of Phoenix. They're really good. They got all the top brands and everything. I get a lot of stuff online, just like on Amazon for gloves and simple stuff like that. But for like inks, needles, and everything, I usually go through Needle Supply out of Phoenix.
Okay. All right. What's been the biggest struggle in the tattoo industry for you? What has it been? The economy? Has it been some other outside forces? What has been the hardest challenge in regards to this?
A little bit of everything, definitely the economy. Through COVID and stuff, it was kind of tough because everybody was staying at home and social distancing. Those what were they called? Like when people were getting checks and all that. I forgot what they were called, but that kind of helped out a little bit because once people started getting those checks, then I started picking up business a little bit.
Oh, the stimulus checks.
Stimulus.
People took their stimulus checks to go get some therapy with Javier.
Yeah, I mean they were stuck at home for weeks, and they're like, "Okay, I'm gonna go get a tattoo. I got $800 that I don't need."
So you still just kept going during COVID. Good for you, man.
Yeah, I mean you got to do what you got to do. You can't stop just because the world stops. You got to keep going, feed your family.
Did you go through any buddy trying to enforce anything on you or trying to?
Well, I mean,
because I know the Pima County Health Department around that time was on some some BS.
When they shut down all non-essentials, we stopped for as long as we could.
Yeah.
And, like I said, you got to feed your family, do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as they lifted all that stuff, then everybody was ready with their stimulus checks and everything, man. And but it's got its ups and downs. Summer's usually kind of slow because people are out at the lakes and everything.
That's everything here, man. Everything in the summer just kind of dies.
Fall, like from October to like mid-December, is kind of slow because everybody's saving for Christmas presents and everything. But usually December 15th is like, bam, that day everyone's like, okay, I bought all my Christmas presents, I'm ready for tattoo. And just from there on, it's rock and roll.
Do you have gift cards people can buy for your shop?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Gift cards, all that stuff.
Yeah, there you go. So if you're looking for a gift this year, an original one from a local spot, Javier's Tattoos here, right here. That's a good. What are the different? Can you get like any amount you want on there? Or do you have like $100, $200?
Yeah. So basically, right now I charge $150 per hour.
Okay.
Shop minimum $60. So if you want a small tattoo, it's going to be $60 just for the cost of my supplies, my needles, my it's not free to do a tattoo. So usually, I work pretty fast too. People are surprised at the amount of work I can get done in 2 or 3 hours. I can get a nice big piece done.
Yeah.
Nice and clean work too. I'm not rushing. That's just the way I work.
That's good. Last question before we go to break is I saw this online. I think it was the Broncos. Somebody got the Broncos some kind of championship tattoo before the game, like a Super Bowl, right? So like a Super Bowl tattoo. Have you seen it in any sport where somebody got the tattoo of their or like champion or something like that on them before the game happened and they lost?
Too. I know what you're talking about. I just can't think of the team, but
I don't know why I thought Broncos, but. Yeah, I saw somebody got a tattoo of the champion, Super Bowl, blah, 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 champions, and then they didn't win.
That can happen, man, and that's when cover-ups become important. I'm really good at cover-up tattoos.
So you get rid of some old exes and stuff.
Exactly. That's
Do you see that a lot?
I call those job security tattoos. When couples come in and get each other's names, I'm like, I'll be seeing you guys again to cover it soon.
Do you see people get the ring tattooed on them pretty often?
Yeah, that's actually pretty popular.
Yeah.
Mainly for like guys who work in construction and stuff who can't wear rings. They like to have a little whatever. Like sometimes I'll do their names, their spouse's name. This one time I just made them look like actual rings with like a stone in there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, there's a lot of tricks you can do.
Oh, well, hey, man, thanks so much for coming on today.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. We'll see you again soon if you're looking for some tattoo work.
Come and see me. I'm right here on Ina and Oldfather behind the Nikos. Come and see me. Whatever you want. I do all styles, color, black and gray, lettering, whatever you want. Stay tuned for Piercer and more artists. I'm going to be hiring soon. So stay tuned for that.
You got a website they can go to? And
Yeah, it's javiertattoos.com, and Javier is with the X, javiertattoos.com.
All right, cool. Well, thanks having you on here. It was great. We'll
Thank
do it
you.
again soon. You know where we're at. You know where
Yep.
you're at. So
I'm
and
right
maybe I'll have
across
to
the
come with
block.
some work soon. Get some done. But hey, we're gonna go to break real quick. When we get back, Clint's gonna join us again. We're gonna finish off this episode and share some info about something else we're gonna be doing. We'll catch you soon.
Looking for the best outdoor patio in Tucson? Look no further than St. Philip's Plaza at the southeast corner of River and Campbell, where you can sip on Tucson's finest collection of whiskey at Union Public House, brunch 7 days a week at Reforma Modern Mexican Mezcal and Tequila, and experience our newest restaurant, Proof, proudly serving house-made pasta and artisanal pizza. Enjoy live music and dine under the stars with Union, Reforma, and Proof. Join us at St. Philip's Plaza.
Hi, this is Sean McCluskey, co-owner and designated broker for Rincon Ventures. If you're a rental owner by choice or by accident and you're looking to hire or change property management companies, consider Rincon Ventures. We employ an aggressive web-based advertising strategy to market your rental. We thoroughly screen prospective tenants and conduct routine property inspections. Our online system gives tenants the ability to pay rent and file maintenance requests instantly over the web. Our owners can use the same system to instantly check on their properties. Call Rincon Ventures at 881-2258 or visit us on the web at rvprop.com.
80% of those that have been incarcerated have been in foster care. So that's crazy to think that 8 out of every 10 inmates, male or female, have touched the foster care system. So if we can break the cycles that cause the foster care system to even be in existence, we're going to change society.
At Gap, I found love.
I found family.
It means hope. It was almost like I had a family away from my own family. At Gap, I found home.
All right, we're back, and Clint Peak is back in the
That's a
seat.
good
That was
episode.
Fun.
Yeah.
I was gonna push it on some of those questions.
Yeah.
The Ouija board. I was like, that is that's interesting, man. You know, I don't even want to know what's going on with that.
Yeah, me neither.
Like past the tattoo shop. Like, good for you on that, but I don't know. I'll let the imagination wander on that. You know, did we have any comments on that piece at all? Shay, I know you're in there. Shay is dealing with some gremlins in the system today. You know, every once in a while.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
The technology we have available to us in the world. And it's just, and you and I have been involved in a lot of different productions in different places.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter, small, large. It's just weird how some
you'll
of this
just
stuff
get
happens.
Some just random behavior from
And we
it.
use that word
well,
gremlin.
look at Meta and Twitter. I mean, X and all those. They still.
What was it, Monday?
Yeah. Well, Microsoft 365 went down again. I know.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we were talking about that, you know, the technical problems we have around here from time to time, and and I don't watch network TV anymore. But as a kid growing up, and you verified it, and you're a generation younger than I am.
Yeah.
Every now and then, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, whatever we're experiencing technical difficulties, and there would just be a test pattern on your screen with, sorry, we'll get this solved when we can.
Yeah. We see it firsthand now. So, hey, Shay, were there any comments about the Ouija board or anything in there?
No comments.
Okay. Yeah. Well, how cool is that?
Yeah.
He does a lot of the police officers here in Marana.
He's a good dude.
Yeah. He had fun.
Yeah.
He was his first
said,
one.
Yeah. We just left and we saw him on the way out. He's like, that was great.
Yeah.
Then I introduced him to Javier.
Yeah.
There's dueling Javiers out there right now.
Yeah. Javier hit me up this morning. He's like, hey, man, you cool if I come and work there and hit the spot? And I'm like, yeah.
You know what's fun about what we do? Part of that interview, I was out with Chris DeSimone talking some strategy, some public relations stuff that we're involved in. Then Tara shows up.
Yeah.
Now Tara's out there with Tammy talking about our newest. We've rebranded Your Digital Church. You'll be seeing it as Your Digital Revival. David took care of that this morning.
Yeah.
With the purchase of the new domain, and there's just the cool thing about what we're doing. Hey, there's some grind here, right?
Yeah.
There's we make it look simple.
No, nobody sees the middle.
Yeah, and we're all smiling, and
nobody sees the middle.
There's a lot of mud that we're still, and you know what? We always will. But that's just part of the process.
Yeah.
That's called life, isn't it? And I think that's not to get into outside the local Marana realm, but I think that's where most people just give up. It gets muddy and gets a little difficult, and it's like, I didn't sign on for this.
Yeah, and lose focus on the mission at hand.
Yeah.
Like you posted something the other day, and I'm like, this is so spot on. It's getting distracted by all kinds of nonsense that has nothing to do with what you're trying to do.
We all do it.
And then remember I showed you that cycle that entrepreneurs will get in, right? A lot of entrepreneurs will get in that cycle where like they're, what do you say, overly optimistic when you start, and then you get into the mud, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, holy crap, this is hard. And when you're in that, you can't see what's going to happen down the road to that part, to the next thing. And but what'll happen is you'll get distracted by this other person over here who's probably in that overly optimistic state, talking about they're doing 6 figures off of this and that, right? Oh man, and then you lose focus and go, oh man, maybe I should be doing that. Like when that happens. So it's
I hear that a lot, and used to be 6 figures actually meant something. 6 figures to me now is like
nothing.
What was your net on 6 figures?
Yeah.
Because if you're in the restaurant business, 6 figures might be $4,000.
Yeah.
If you're legitimately
you're walking out. Yeah.
So I mean, it's 7 figures. Now you have my attention, but and again, is that verifiable? Is that something we can verify? Can you show me?
But it's
that?
on social media, so it must be real. Come on.
This would be a really good time to tell you what David and I are concocting right now. Because we're supposed to be talking local Marana. That should be what we're talking about.
Hey, we did. We had a local business and everything, but I think we need to move.
We got a new format that we're already is in place. And David's brainchild the other day. And the cool thing, the way that we are allowed to work at Live the Dream Media, there's basically a decision-making team of 2 or 3 or maybe 4, depending on what we're talking about.
Right.
And David David brought it up at lunch Friday at 1 o'clock, whatever time we were having lunch. And by 4 o'clock, it was done. We were doing that. It was already done. And we have rebranded one of our repetitive.
We'll say it. We'll say it. Yeah, you can say it. It was This is Marana platform. We have changed that. We rebranded it to the Cornerstone Republic, which is going to be a news entity.
It's a national
and local.
We'll cover local, but it's really geared nationally.
Yeah.
For stuff out, because we've already got local Marana. Having this as Marana was just one more local Marana, basically.
Right.
And when you suggested that, I'm like, well, let's just do it. And within 4 hours, it had already happened with a new graphic, which is really cool. I love the way we can really spin or pivot if we need to.
Yeah.
And there's already articles there. And it will be political. It's not really political, in my opinion. It's just real life.
Yeah.
Told with an unflinching, just get to the truth of this and the heart of the matter, as opposed to spinning something.
Right.
Right. I mean, it's still obviously opinion because we're not reporting the news. So there's some opinion involved in this. And I'll give you just one of them was the Republicans in 1931, Hoover was in the White House. Basically, and if anybody is a student of history, there's probably very few people alive that was alive in 1931. But America was going through an incredible depression. And I mean literally a hardcore depression. Any student of history can tell you. I mean, breadlines and just nothing like we have experienced in my lifetime, at least on the appearance of it. And basically, the Republicans told the American people, just suck it up, get over it. There's nothing we can do for you. And I got to thinking about it even last night as I was driving home. There wasn't another Republican president until 20 years later. But that was Dwight Eisenhower, and the Democrats wanted him to run for them. So if he had have chose the Democrats, which is a 50-50 coin toss, there would have been no Republican president from 1932 until 1968. Because for all intents and purposes, even though Dwight Eisenhower ran as a Republican, if both parties are courting him, that kind of makes him an independent, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he ran as a D. But 36 years. And here's what I see happening right now. I see the same thing happening in reverse. The Democrats are just hating on Trump. That's all they're doing. There's no policy coming out of there. That's kind of almost the same thing that happened in 1931. And from an independent standpoint, I know you feel the same way. We need both parties.
Yeah.
Working together in unison and creating policy and working on things, not screaming and hollering at each other.
Yeah.
So I'm not predicting that there won't be another Democratic president until, after my life is over, but it could happen.
Yeah.
Because at some point you have to talk to the Democrats. When I grew up as a kid, they were the working party, or at least they presented themselves as that.
Same.
And the Republicans, they took care of the elitists and the corporate people. It's flipped.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. It's really interesting.
And if you don't believe that, just look at the map and look how Americans voted in the last election.
Yeah.
It's red everywhere. Well, that's the flyover states.
Mm-hmm.
Which used to be the working man.
Yeah, no, from my standpoint as an independent and from what I've seen in my short time here on this planet, like, I felt that the Democrats just left the working people, the ones just grinding, getting through. They left us behind for stuff that was so irrelevant to the mass population.
What restroom do you use?
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
You know what I mean? Like we've got a lot bigger issues. You know what I mean? And it's sad because the party itself didn't have the wisdom to go, hey, we probably shouldn't be running on that, right? Yeah. Like education, like numbers wise. Yeah. So what happens is, it's another thing that I talk about with social media and everything, right? People get stuck in their algorithm and they get stuck into that as being the center of data
and reality.
You leave the reality behind, right? And I feel like, guys like Charlie Kirk, for instance, right? I got to tell you, the other day when he sat down with Gavin Newsom, I really felt like this weight off of my shoulders. Yeah. I don't know if anybody else felt that, but no. I think people in general felt like this weight off of our shoulders, where somehow there's been this fake dividing wall that's existed and been put into our minds. Sides. Yeah, on both sides. Where people can't talk, right? Yeah. And you and I have been saying this for years. We got friends and people we love on every side and everything. Yeah. And it's like, when you saw them be able to sit down and talk about.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, David.
That right there. I think what Charlie Kirk and Gavin Newsom did this last week was historic.
I agree.
And it sucks to say that. I'm not saying that like, great.
Because you know why it sucks to say that? Why? Because it's not common. That used to be common.
Yeah.
Neighbors could sit down, we could talk, we could agree, disagree. Now it's like, if you don't agree, I see it all the time. I hear people, and I see it. It's like, if you're with this, then don't ever talk to me again.
Yeah. Two things that stood out about that conversation, right? And this is something we've heard in our life often. And I actually had somebody shoot me a leadership video that I used to work with at the PD, where these two things were covered, and I wrote back and said, hey dude, that's biblical.
Yeah.
Right? And it was truth and grace.
Yeah.
And that happened in that conversation.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Charlie would hit with some truth, Gavin would hit with some truth, but there was grace in the conversation. And it's like, we as a whole have forgotten the importance of those two things. Yeah. And that applies to everything, just like we say with leadership, right? Yeah. That applies to the conversations you have with people you don't maybe you don't believe in the same things as them, or you're working with somebody you don't really dig, but you guys got to achieve the same goal. Yeah. You're parenting.
Yeah.
You're talking to your spouse, right? Truth and grace.
Oh, you guys agree on everything, right? Like Tammy and I did.
Yeah.
When it comes to parenting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you know one thing real quick, because we got to jump, and I'm going to be back in just a minute with Tara Chandler. My respect level for Gavin Newsom went up dramatically after that conversation. Really, it did, because it couldn't go much lower.
I think both sides you go, whoa. I mean, Charlie Kirk he's not a political person. He's not running for anything, but we all know. We've
heard his name tossed around.
I don't think he will, but
why would he?
Yeah,
take a pay cut.
But you know what he's affiliated with and what he represents.
Yeah.
But I think on both sides, like I told you, man, like I felt like there's definitely a little bit of a burden that's been lifted a bit for a lot of folks after that, and that needs to happen more often.
You know what? I challenge everyone out there to be respectful. It's okay to disagree, but sit down with someone that you know is in opposition to a lot of the things you believe in, and at least try to have a civil discourse, both of you, right?
Right.
The more we do that, the better we're going to be. Because at the end of the day, David, I know I'm not right all the time. I know that for a fact.
Ditto.
I want to have open dialogue with as many people as possible. And you mentioned we know a lot of people, you and I, and we got to wrap this up, but we know a lot of people. I guarantee you, between the two of you and I, we have basically every demographic covered. Right? Mm-hmm. Everything. Whatever's out there, we've got it.
Right.
Right? And you know what? Love God, love your neighbor. Makes it real simple. And you said biblical, truth and grace. Try it sometimes.
Yeah,
I'd lean just a little, if I have to, a little bit more into grace.
Yeah,
just
same.
Just a tiny 51-49. How about that? Because you can't hide from the truth. To ignore the truth.
Yeah.
If someone's getting ready to commit, let's say a child's getting ready to step out in the street. Well, truth says you've got to move that child. You don't just say, "Hey, honey, can you get back?" You go move that child away from that point of danger. But at the same time, you need to do it with grace as well. And don't be that drive-by Christian is that you drive by and you see somebody really in need and you're like, Jesus loves you, and drive on. Don't be that person. Dude, now you see why there's a need to have this new venue, or this new outlet that David and I have created. David came up with the idea, and I'm like, yeah, let's do this.
There was more. There was other people involved. But yeah, go follow the Cornerstone Republic on Instagram and Facebook. There is a website. We are looking for contributing.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
Contributing journalists. So if you're interested in writing or do some investigative stuff, reach out to us at publishing@cornerstonerepublic.news. The website is cornerstonerepublic.news. So go and make that happen. Thank you so much for joining us on the Local Marana. Stay tuned. Clint's going to be here in this seat with his guest Tara on the Clint Peak Show. As always, we thank everybody who is listening and watching to the Live the Dream Media Network. Hope you have a great rest of the week, and stay dry.